wanted to go on a walk. He'd gotten some bad news. His cousin, his dear friend, had been killed because of Herod's knuckle-headed pride. The handwriting was on the wall that Jesus would probably be next. So this combination of grief and probably fear led Jesus to do what we need to do when we're hurting, and that's to get alone. So he got in a boat, and it appears he left his disciples on the shore and said, I got to get out of here. And he just went out on the water by himself. Eventually he came back in, and the crowds, of course, immediately spread word, and they were with him, and his disciples came to him, and they told him, we probably ought to get rid of all these people. And says, why don't you guys feed them? And they're like, well, we have 5 fish. How are we going to feed them? So they gather the people, they gather the fish. Jesus multiplies the food, and they feed all the people. He tells his disciples, why don't you guys get on this boat and head out into the lake? I'll catch up with you later. He tells all the thousands of people, you're dismissed. You guys go home. It's time to go home. And he says he climbs up onto the mountainside in the evening to pray. Sometimes we have to get alone with God to get consoled. It says he was there all night. Finally in the morning, the sun's coming up and it's time for him to rejoin his disciples to get back to life again. This is the setting for the famous walking on water scene. Goes on the water, eventually finds the boat, walks up to it, and of course they freak out. They think it's a ghost. And Peter, always quick on his feet, says, Lord, if it's you, why don't you call me out to walk on the water also? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's what he does. And Jesus, sort of maybe surprised, is just like, come on. You never know what life is going to bring you. You never know what type of griefs you're going to have to deal with, or what type of miracles God will provide just so we can function on a day-to-day basis and do the things that we have to do. And in many ways, Peter did follow Jesus out on the water and led the other disciples to do the same.
I remember our victory over Hastings.